Welcome back, everyone, on this beautiful November 3rd, 2019. It's 2:46 p.m. Good afternoon to everyone. And this is part 5 of the book of Enoch. We are going to read Parable 2 and Parable 3. Chapter 45 goes as follows. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the Holy One and the Lord of spirits. And into the heavens they shall not ascend, and on the earth they shall not come. Such shall be the lot of the sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are those preserved for the day of suffering and tribulations. On that day mine elect ones shall sit on the throne of glory, and shall try their works, and their place of rest shall be unnumerable. And their soul shall grow strong within them when they meet mine elect ones, and those who have called upon my glorious name. Then will I cause mine elect ones to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light, and I will transform the earth and make it a blessing. And I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it, but the sinners and evildoers shall not set foot thereon. For I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and I have caused them to dwell before me. But the sinners, there is judgment impending with me, so that I shall destroy them from the face of the earth. Chapter 46. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool, and with him was another being whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of graciousness, like one of the holy angels. And I asked the angel who went with me, and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was, and whence he was, and why he went with the head of days. And he answered and said unto me, This is the Son of Man, who hath righteousness, with whom dwell righteousness, and who revealeth all the treasures of that which is hidden. Because the Lord of spirits hath chosen him, and whose lot hath the preeminence before the Lord of spirits in uprightness forever. And this Son of Man, who those have seen, shall trace up the kings and the mighty from their seats, and the strong from their thrones, and shall loosen the reins of the strong, and break the teeth of the sinners. And he shall put down the things from the throne of kingdoms, because they do not exalt and praise him, nor humbly acknowledge whence the king was bestowed upon them. And he shall put down the countenance of the strong, and shall fit them with shame. And darkness shall be their dwelling, and worms shall be their bed. And they shall have no hope of rising from their beds, because they do not exalt the name of the Lord of spirits. And these are they who judge the stars of heaven, and raise their hands against the Most High, and tread upon the earth, and dwell upon it. And all their deeds manifest unrighteousness, and their power rests upon their riches, and their faith is in the gods which they have made with their hands. And they deny the name of the Lord of spirits, and they persecute the house of his congregation, and the faithful who hung upon the name of the Lord of spirits. Chapter 47. And in those days shall have ascended the prayer of the righteous, and the blood of the righteous from the earth before the Lord of spirits. In those days the holy ones who dwell above in the heavens shall unite with one voice, and supplicate, and pray, and praise, and give thanks, and bless the name of the Lord of spirits, on behalf of the blood of the righteous which hath been shed, and that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before the Lord of spirits, that judgment may be done unto them, and that they may not have to suffer forever. In those days I saw the head of days, when he seated himself upon the throne of his glory, and the book of the living were opened before him. And all his host which is in heaven above, and his counselors stood before him. And the hearts of the holy were filled with joy, because the number of the righteous had been offered, and the prayers of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous had been required before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 48. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom. And all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom, and their dwelling were with the righteous and holy and elect. And at that hour the Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. Yea, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heavens were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He shall be a staff to the righteousness, whereon to stay themselves and not fall. And he shall be the light of the Gentiles, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. And all who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate with song the Lord of spirits. And for this reason hath he been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world, and forevermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits hath revealed him to the holy and righteous, for he hath preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure had it been in regards to their life. In these days downcast in countenance shall the king of the earth have become, and the strong who possess the land, because of the works of their hands. For on the day of their anguish and affliction they shall not be able to save themselves, and I will give them over into the hands of my elect. As straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the face of the holy. As lead in the water shall they sink before the face of the righteous, and no trace of them shall be more be found. And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest on the earth, and before them they shall fall and not rise again, and there shall be no one to take them with his hands and raise them, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. Chapter 49. For wisdom is poured out like water, and glory faileth not before him forevermore. For he is mighty in all the secrets of righteousness, and unrighteousness shall disappear as a shadow, and have no continuance. Because the elect one standeth before the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever and ever, as his might unto all generations. And in him dwells the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit which gives insight, and the spirit of understanding and of might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. And he shall judge the secret things, and none shall be able to utter a lying word before him. For he is the elect one before the Lord of spirits, according to his good pleasure. Chapter 50. And in those days a change shall take place for the holy and elect, and the light of days shall abide upon them, and glory and honor shall turn to the holy. On the day of affliction, on which evil shall have been treasured up against the sinners, and the righteous shall be victorious in the name of the Lord of spirits. And he will cause the other to witness this, that they might repent and forego the works of their hands. They shall have no honor through the name of the Lord of spirits, yet through his name shall they be saved. And the Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, for his compassion is great, and he is righteous also in his judgment. And in the presence of his glory unrighteousness also shall not maintain itself, and his judgment the unrepentant shall perish before him. And for henceforth I will have no mercy on them, saith the Lord of spirits. Chapter 51. And in those days shall the earth also give back that which has been entrusted to it, and Sheol also shall give back that which it has received, and he shall give back that which it owns. For in those days the elect one shall arise, and he shall choose the righteous and holy from among them, and the day has drawn nigh that they should be saved. And the elect one shall in those days sit on my throne, and his mouth shall pour forth all the secrets of wisdom and counsel, for the Lord of spirit hath given them to him, and hath glorified him. And in those days shall the mountains leap like rams, and the hills also shall skip like lambs, satisfied with the milk, and the faces of all the angels in heaven shall be lightened up with joy. And the earth shall rejoice, and the righteous shall dwell upon it, and the elect shall walk thereon. Chapter 52. And after those days, in that place where I had seen all the vision of that which is hidden, for I have been carried off in a wind whirl, and they had borne me toward the west. There my eyes saw all the secret things of heaven, that shall be a mountain of iron, and a mountain of copper, and a mountain of silver, and a mountain of gold, and a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. Excuse me. And I asked the angel who went with me, saying, What things are these which I have seen in secret? And he said unto me, All these things which thou hast seen shall serve the dominion of his anointed, that he may be potent and mighty on the earth. And that angel of peace answered, saying unto me, Wait a little, and there shall be revealed unto thee all the secret things which surround the Lord of spirits. And these mountains which thy eyes have seen, the mountain of iron, and the mountain of copper, and the mountain of silver, and the mountain of gold, and the mountain of soft metals, and the mountain of lead, as wax before the fire, and like the water which streams down from above upon those mountains, and they shall become powerless before his feet. And it shall come to pass in those days that none shall be saved, either by gold or by silver, and none be able to escape. And there shall be no iron for war, nor shall one clothe oneself with a breastplate. Bronze shall be of no service, and tin shall be of no service, and shall be esteemed, and lead shall not be desired. And all these things shall be denied and destroyed from the surface of the earth, when the elect one shall appear before the face of the Lord of spirits. Chapter 53. There my eyes saw a deep valley with open mouths, and all who dwell on the earth and sea and island shall bring to him gifts and presents and tokens of homage. But that deep valley shall not become full, and their hands commit lawless deeds, and the sinner devour all whom they lawlessly oppress. Yet the sinner shall be destroyed before the face of the Lord of spirits, and they shall be banished from off the face of his earth. and they shall perish forever and ever. For I saw all the angels of punishment abiding there and preparing all the instruments of Satan. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, for whom are they preparing these instruments? And he said unto me, they preparing these for the kings and the mighty of this earth, that they may thereby be destroyed. And after this the righteous and elect one shall cause the house of his congregation to appear henceforth. They shall be no more hindered in the name of the Lord of spirits. And these mountains shall not stand as the earth before his righteousness, but the hills shall be as a fountain of water, and the righteous shall have rest from the oppression of sinners. Chapter 53. Excuse me one second. Correction. Chapter 54. And I looked and turned to another part of the earth, and I saw there a deep valley with burning fire. And they brought the kings and the mighty and began to cast them into the deep valley. And there my eyes saw how they made these their instruments, iron chains of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, for whom are these chains being prepared? And he said unto me, these are being prepared for the host of Azazel, so that they may take them and cast them into the abyss of complete condemnation. And they shall cover their jaws with rough stones, as the Lord of spirits commanded. And Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel shall take hold of them on that great day, and cast them on that day into the burning furnace, that the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them for their unrighteousness in becoming subjects to Satan and leading astray those who dwell on the earth. And in those days shall punishment come from the Lord of spirits, and he shall open all the chambers of waters which are above the heavens, and of the fountains which are beneath the earth, and all the waters shall be joined with the waters. That which is above the heavens is the masculine, and the waters which is beneath the earth is the feminine. And they shall destroy all who dwell on the earth, and those who dwell under the ends of the heaven. And when they have recognized their unrighteousness, which they have wronged on the earth, then by these shall they perish. Chapter 55. And after that, the head of days repented and said, in vain have I destroyed all who dwell on the earth. And he sware by his great name, henceforth I will not do so to all who dwell on the earth. And I will set a sign in the heavens, and this shall be a pledge of good faith between me and them forever, so long as heaven is above the earth. And this is in accordance with my commandments. And that is the rainbow. That is the sign that our Heavenly Father had given us. When I have desired to take hold of them by the hand of the angels on the day of tribulation and pain, because of this I will cause my chastisement and my wrath to abide upon them, said God, the Lord of spirits. Ye mighty kings who dwell on the earth, ye shall have to behold mine elect ones, how he sits on the throne of glory and judges Azazel as all his associates and all his hosts in the name of the Lord of spirits. Chapter 56. And I saw there the host of the angels of punishment going, and they held scourges and chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, to whom are these who hold the scourges going. And he said unto me, to their elect and beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chasms of the abyss of the valley. And then that valley shall be filled with their elect and beloved, and the days of their lives shall be at an end, and the days of their leading astray shall not then forward be reckoned. And in those days the angels shall return, and hurl themselves to the east upon the Parthians and Medes. They shall stir up the kings, so that a spirit of unrest shall come upon them, and they shall rouse them from their throne, that they may break forth all as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves among their flocks. And they shall go up and tread underfoot the land of his elect ones, and the land of his elect ones shall be before them a threshing floor and a highway, but the city of my righteous shall be a hindrance to their horses. And they shall begin to fight among themselves, and their right hand shall be strong against themselves. And a man shall not know his brother, nor a son his father or his mother, till there be no number of the corpses through their slaughter, and their punishment be not in vain. In those days Sheol shall open its jaws, and they shall be swallowed up therein, and their destruction shall be at an end. Sheol shall devour the sinner in the presence of the elect. Chapter 57. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons, and men riding thereon, and coming on the winds from the east, and from the west to the south. And the noise of the wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it. And the pillar of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from the one end of heaven to the other in one day. And they shall all fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. We're going to go into the third parable, which will be chapter 58. The third parable goes as follows. And I began to speak the third parable concerning the righteous and elect. Blessed are ye, righteous and elect, for glorious shall be your lot. And the righteous shall be in the light of the sun, and the elect in the light of eternal life. The days of their life shall be unending, and the days of the holy without numbers. And they shall seek the light and find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. There shall be peace to the righteous in the name of the eternal Lord. And after this it shall be said to the holy in heaven, that they should seek out the secrets of righteousness, the inheritance of faith. For it has become bright as the sun upon earth, and the darkness is past. And there shall be a light that never endeth, and to a limitless number of days they shall not come. For the darkness shall first have been destroyed, and the light established before the Lord of spirits, and the light of uprightness established forever before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 59. In those days mine eyes saw the secrets of the lightnings, and of the light, and the judgment they executed. Lit their judgments, and they lightened for a blessing or a curse, as the Lord of spirits willeth. And there I saw the secrets of the thunder, and how when it resound above in the heavens, the sound thereof is heard. And he causes me to see the judgment executed on the earth, whether they be for well-being and blessing, or for a curse, according to the word of the Lord of spirits. And after that All the secrets of the lights and lightnings were shown to me, and they lighten for blessing and for satisfying. This will conclude the end of Parable 3. I will be right back. Now I'm going to cover the book of Noah, a fragment. It goes from chapter 60 to chapter 71. And that will conclude this video for today of part 5 of the book of Enoch. So chapter 60 goes as follows. In the year 500, in the 7th month of the 14th day of the month in the life of Enoch, in that parable I saw how a mighty quake made the heavens of heavens to quake, and the hosts of the Most High and the angels, 1,000, 1,000, and 10,000 times 10,000s, were disguised with a great disquiet. And the head of days sat on the throne of his glory, and the angels and the righteous stood around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took a hold of me, and my lions gave away, and dissolved were my reins, and I fell upon my face. And Michael sent another angel from among the holy ones, and he raised me up. And when he had raised me up, my spirit returned, for I had not been able to endure the look of this host, and the commotion, and the quaking of the heavens. And Michael said unto me, Why are those disquiet with such a vision? Until this day lasted the day of his mercy, and he hath been merciful and long-suffering toward those who dwell on the earth. And when the day and the power and the punishment and the judgment come, which the Lord of spirits hath prepared for those who worship not the righteous law, and for those who deny the righteous judgment, and for those who take his name in vain, that day is prepared for the elect and covenant, but for sinners and inquisition. When the punishment of the Lord of spirits shall rest upon them, it shall rest in order that the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not come in vain. And it shall slay the children with their mothers, and the children with their fathers. Afterwards, the judgment shall take place according to his mercy and his patience. And on that day were 2 monsters pardoned, a female monster named Leviathan, to dwell in the abyss of the ocean over the fountain of the waters. But the male is named Behemoth, who occupied with his breast a waste wilderness named Duidain, on the east of the garden where the elect and righteous dwell, where my grandfather was taken up, the 7th from Adam, the first man who the Lord of spirits created. And I besought the other angel that he should show me the mighty of those monsters, how they were parted on one day, and cast the one into the abyss of the sea, and the other unto the dry land of the wilderness. And he said to me, The Son of man, herein thou dost seek to know what is hidden. And the other angel who went with me and showed me what was hidden told me what is first and last in the heavens, in the height and beneath the earth, in the depth and at the ends of the heaven, and on the foundation of the heaven, and the chambers of the winds, and how the winds are divided, and how they are weighed, and how the portals of the winds are reckoned, each according to the power of the wind, and the power of the light of the moon, and according to the power that is fitting, and the division of the stars according to their names, and how all the divisions are divided, and the thunder according to the places where they fall, and all the divisions that are made among the lightnings, that it may lighten, and their hosts, that they may at once obey. For the thunder has places of rest, which are assigned to it while it is waiting for it peal, and the thunder and lightning are inseparable, and although not one and undivided, they both go together through the Spirit and separate not. For when the lightning lights, the thunder utters its voice, and the Spirit enforces a pause during the peal and divides equally between them. For the treasures of their peals is like the sand, and each one of them as it peals is held in with a bridle and turned back by the power of the Spirit and pushed forward according to the many quarters of the earth. And the spirit of the sea is masculine and strong, and according to the might of his strength he draws it back with a rein, and in like manner it is driven forward and dispenses amid all the mountains of the earth. And the spirit of the hoarfrost is his own angel, and the spirit of the hail is a good angel, and the spirit of the snow has forsake his chambers on account of his strength. There is a special spirit therein, and that which ascends from it is like smoke, and its name is frost. And the spirit of the mist is not united with them in their chambers, but it has a special chamber, for its course is glorious, both in light and in darkness, and in winter and in summer, and in its chambers is an angel. And the spirit of the dew has its dwelling, and the end of the heaven, and is connected with the chambers of the rain, and its course is in winter and summer, and its clouds and the clouds of the mist are connected. The one gives to the other. And when the spirit of the rain goes forth from the chambers, the angels come and open the chambers and lead it out. And when it diffuses over the whole earth, it unites with the waters on the earth. And whensoever it unites with the waters on the earth, for the waters are for those who dwell on the earth, for they are nourishment for the earth from the Most High who is in heaven. Therefore there is a measure for the rain, and the angels take it in charge. And these things I saw toward the garden of the righteous. And the angel of peace who was with me said to me, these two monsters prepare conformably to the greatness of God shall feed. So I'll be right back. 61. Chapter 61. And I saw those days how long cords were given to those angels, and they took to themselves wings and flew, and they went toward the north. And I asked the angel, saying unto him, why have those angels taken these cords and gone off? And he said unto me, they have gone to measure. And the angel who went with me said unto me, these shall bring the measures of the righteous, and the rope of the righteous to the righteous, that they may stay themselves on the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. The elect shall begin to dwell with the elect, and those are the measures which shall be given to faith, and which shall strengthen the righteousness. And these measures shall reveal all the secrets of the depth of the earth, and those who have been destroyed by the desert, and those who have been devoured by the beasts, and those who have been devoured by the fish of the sea, that they may return and stay themselves on the day of the elect ones. For none shall be destroyed before the Lord of spirits, and none can be destroyed. And all who dwell above in heaven receive a command and power, and one voice, and one light, like unto fire. And that one with their first words they blessed, and exalted, and lauded with wisdom. And they were wise in utterance, and in the spirit of life. And the Lord of spirits placed the elect one on the throne of glories, and he shall judge all the works of the holy above in the heavens. And in balance shall their deeds be weighed. And when he shall lift up his countenance to judge their secret ways according to the word of the name of the Lord of the spirits, and their path according to the way of the righteous judgment of the Lord of spirits, then shall they all with one voice speak and bless and glorify and exalt the sanctify the name of the Lord of spirits. And he will summon all the hosts of the heavens and all the holy ones above, and the hosts of God, the cherubim, seraphim, and ophanim, and all the angels of power, and all the angels of principalities, and the elect ones, and the other powers on the earth and over the waters. On that day shall raise one voice, and bless and glorify and exalt in the spirit of faith, and in the spirit of wisdom, and in the spirit of patience, and in the spirit of mercy, and in the spirit of judgment, and of peace, and in the spirit of goodness. And shall all say with one voice, Blessed is he, and may the name of the Lord of spirits be blessed forever and ever. All who sleep not above in heaven shall bless him. All the holy ones who are in heaven shall bless him. And all the elect who dwell in the garden of life, and every spirit of light who is able to bless and glorify and exalt and hallow thy blessed name. And all flesh shall beyond measures glorify and bless thy name forever and ever. For great is the mercy of the Lord of spirits, and he is long-suffering. And all his works and all that he has created, he has revealed to the righteous and elect in the name of the Lord of spirits. 62. Chapter 62. And those the Lord commanded the kings and the mighty and the exalt and those who dwell on the earth, and said, Open your eyes and lift up your horns, if ye are able to recognize the elect one. And the Lord of spirits seated him on the throne of his glory, and the spirit of righteousness was poured out upon him, and the word of his mouth slayed all the sinners, and all the unrighteousness are destroyed and all the unrighteousness are destroyed from before his face. And there shall stand up in that day all the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who hold the earth, and they shall see and recognize how he sit on the throne of his glory, and righteousness is judged before him, and no lying word is spoken before him. Then shall pain come upon them on them as on a woman in travail, and she has pain in bringing forth when her child enters the mouth of the womb, and she has pain in bringing forth. And one portion of them shall look on the other, and they shall be terrified, and they shall be downcast of countenance, and pain shall seize them when they see that the Son of Man sitteth on the throne of his glory. And the king and the mighty and all who possess the earth shall bless and glorify and exalt him who rules over all who was hidden. For from the beginning the Son of Man was hidden, and the Most High preserved him in the presence of his might, and revealed him to the elect. And the congregation of the elect and holy shall be sown, and all the elect shall stand before him on that day. And the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who rule the earth shall fall down before him on their faces, and worship and set their hope upon the Son of Man, and petition him and supplicate for mercy at his hand. Nevertheless, that Lord of spirits will so press them that they shall hastily go forth from his presence, and their faces shall be filled with shame, and the darkness grow deeper on their faces. And he will deliver them to the angels for punishment, to execute vengeance on them, because they have oppressed his children and his elect. And they shall be a spectacle for the righteous and for his elect. They shall rejoice over them, because the wrath of the Lord of spirits rested upon them, and his sword is drunk with their blood. And the righteous and elect shall be saved on the day, and they shall never thenceforward see the face of the sinners and unrighteous. And the Lord of spirits will abide over them, and with the Son of Man shall they eat, and lie down, and rise up forever and ever. And the righteous and elect shall have risen from the earth, and cease to be of downcast countenance. And they shall have been clothed with garment of glory, and these shall be the garment of life from the Lord of spirits. And your garment shall not grow old, nor your glory pass away before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 63. In those days shall the mighty and the kings who possess the earth implore him to grant them a little respite from his angels of punishment, to whom they were delivered, that they might fall down and worship before the Lord of spirits, and confess their sins before him. And they shall bless and glorify the Lord of spirits, and say, Blessed is the Lord of spirits, and the Lord of kings, and the Lord of the mighty, and the Lord of the rich, and the Lord of glory, and the Lord of wisdom, and splendid in every secret thing in thy power, for generation to generation, and thy glory forever and ever. Deep are all thy secrets, and unnumerable, and thy righteous is beyond reckoning. We have now learned that we should glorify and bless the Lord of kings, and him who is king over all kings. And they shall say, Would that we had rest to glorify and give thanks, and confess our faith before his glory. And now we long for a little rest, but find it not. We follow hard upon and obtain it not. And light has vanished from before us, and darkness is our dwelling place forever and ever. For we have not believed before him, nor glorified the name of the Lord of spirits, nor glorify our Lord. But our hope was in the sanctuary of our kingdom, and in our glory. And in the day of our suffering and tribulation he saved us not, and we find no respite for confession, that our Lord is true in all his works, and in his judgment, and in his justice, and his judgments have no respect of persons. And we pass away from before his face on account of our works, and all our sins are reckoned up in righteousness. Now they shall say unto themselves, Our souls are full of unrighteous gain, but it does not prevent us from descending from the midst thereof into the burden of Sheol. And after that their faces shall be filled with darkness and shame before the Son of Man, and they shall be driven from his presence, and and the sword shall abide before his face in their midst. Thus spoken the Lord of spirits. This is the ordinance and judgment with respect to the mighty, and the kings, and the exalted, and those who possess the earth before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 64. And other forms I saw hidden in that place. I heard the voice of the angel saying, These are the angels who descended to the earth and revealed what was hidden to the children of men, and seduce the children of men into committing sin. Chapter 65. And in those days Noah saw the earth, that it had sunk down, and its destruction was nigh. And he arose from thence, and went to the end of the earth, and cried out loud to his grandfather Enoch. And Noah said 3 times with an embittered voice, Hear me, hear me, hear me. And I say unto him, tell me what it is that is falling out on the earth, that the earth is in such evil plight and shaken, lest perchance I shall perish with it. And thereupon there was a great commotion on the earth, and a voice was heard from heaven, and I fell on my face. And Enoch, my grandfather, came and stood by me, and said unto me, why hast thou cried unto me with a bitter cry and weeping? And a command has gone forth from the presence of the Lord concerning those who dwell on the earth, that their ruin is accomplished, because they have learned all the secrets of the angels, and all the violence of Satan, and all the power, the most secret ones, and all the power of those who practice sorcery, and the power of witchcraft, and the power of those who make molten images for the whole earth, and how silver is produced from the dust of the earth, and how soft metals originated in the earth. For lead and tin are not produced from the earth like the first. It is a fountain that produces them, and an angel stands therein, and that angel is preeminent. And after that, my grandfather Enoch took hold of me by my hand, and raised me up, and said unto me, go, for I have asked the Lord of spirits as touching this commotion on the earth. And he said unto me, because of their unrighteousness, their judgment has been determined upon, and shall not be withheld by me forever, because of the sorcery which they have searched out and learned. And earth and those who dwell upon it shall be destroyed, and these they have no place or repentance forever, because they have shown them what was hidden, and they are the damned. But as for thee, my son, the Lord of spirits knows that thou art pure and guiltless of this reproach concerning the secrets, and he has destined thy name to be among the holy, and will preserve thee among those who dwell on the earth, and has disdained thy righteous seed both for kingship and for great honors. And from these seed shall proceed a fountain of the righteous and holy without number forever. Chapter 66. And after that he showed me the angel of punishment, who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath in the earth, in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who abide and dwell on the earth. And the Lord of spirits gave commandments to the angels who were going forth, that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those angels were over the powers of the waters. And I went away from the presence of Enoch. Chapter 67. And in those days the word of God came unto me, and he said unto me, Noah, thy loss has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. And now the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it, and there shall come forth from it the seed of life, and a change shall set in, so that the earth will not remain without inhabitants. And I will make fast thy seed before me forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who dwell in thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley, which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal, and from the convulsion thereof, in that place there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters, and that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And although its valley proceeds steam of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth, for the healing of the body. But for the punishment of the spirit, now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits none shall utter an idle word, for the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their bodies and deny the spirit of the Lord. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the angels ascend, these waters of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, this judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth, because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their bodies. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burn forever. Chapter 68. And after that, my grandfather Enoch gave me the teaching of all the secrets in the book in the parables, which had been given to him. And he put them together for me in the words of the book of the parables. And on that day, Michael answered Raphael and said, the power of the Spirit transports and makes me to tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the angels, who can endure the severe judgment which has been executed, and before which they melt away. And Michael answered again and said to Raphael, who is he whose heart is not softened concerning it, and whose reins are not troubled by these words of judgment that has gone forth upon them, because of those who have thus let them out? And it came to pass, when he stood before the Lord of spirits, Michael said thus to Raphael, I will not take their part under the eye of the Lord, for the Lord of spirits hath been angry with them, because they do as if they were the Lord. Therefore all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever, for neither angel nor man shall have his his portion in it, but alone they have received their judgment forever and ever. 69, chapter 69. And after the judgment they shall terrify and make them to tremble, because they have shown this to those who dwell on the earth. And behold the name of those angels, and these are their names. The first of them is Samyaza, the second Artakifa, and the third are Men, the fourth Kokabel, the fifth Turael, the sixth Ramjal, the seventh Danjal, the eighth Nequel, the ninth Baraquel, the 10th Asasel, the 11th Armaros, the 12th Batarjal, the 13th Busasajal, the 14th Hananel, the 15th Turel, and the 16th Simapasel, the 17th Jetrel, and 18th Tumael, the 19th Turel, the 20th Rumael, the 21st Asasel, And these are the chiefs of their angels and their names, and their chief ones over hundreds and over fifties and over tens. The names of the first Jiquan, that is the one who led astray all the sons of God and brought them down to the earth and led them astray through the daughters of men. And the second was named as Baal. He imparted to the holy sons of God evil counsel and led them astray, so that they defile their bodies with the daughters of men. And the third was named Gadariel. He is the one, it is who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve and showed the weapon of death to the sons of men, the shield and the coat of mail and the sword for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. And the fourth was named Panemu. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, and thereby many sinned from eternity to eternity and until this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. For men were created exactly like the angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroyed everything, could not have taken hold of them. But through this their knowledge they are perishing, and through this power it is consuming me. And the fifth was named Kasdeja. This is he who showed the children of men all the wicked smiting of spirits and demons, and the smitings of the embryo in the womb, that it may pass away, and the smithing of the soul, the bitter of the serpent, and the smithing which befall through the noontide heat, the son of the serpent named Taba'aet. And this is the task of Casbeel, the chief of the oath, which he showed to the holy ones when he dwelt high above in glory, and its name is Bika. This angel requested Michael to show him the hidden name, that he might enunciate it in the oath, so that those might quake before that name and oath, who reveal all that was in secret to the children of men. And this is the power of this oath, for it is powerful and strong. And he placed this oath, Akai, in the hands of Michael, and these are the secrets of this oath. And they are strong through his oath, and the heaven was suspended before the world was created and forever, and through it the earth was founded upon the waters, and from the secret recesses of the mountains came beautiful waters, from the creation of the world and unto eternity. And through the oath the sea was created, and as its foundation he set for it the sand against the time and its anger, and it dare not pass beyond it from the creation of the world unto eternity. And through the oath are the depths made fast, and abide and stir not from their place from eternity to eternity. And through that oath the sun and moon completed their course, and deviate not from their ordinance from eternity to eternity. And through that oath the stars complete their course, and he calls them by their names, and they answer him from eternity to eternity. And in like manner the spirit of the waters and of the winds and of all zephyrs and their path from all the quarters of the winds. And there are preserved the voice of the thunder and the lightning of the lightnings, and there are preserved the chambers of the hail and the chambers of the hoarfrost and the chambers of the mist and the chambers of the rain and the dew. And all these believe and give thanks before the Lord of spirits and glorify him with all their power and their food. In every act of thanksgiving they thank and glorify and exalt the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. And its oath is mighty over them, and through it they are preserved, and their path are preserved, and their course is not destroyed. Close of the third parable. And there was great joy among them, and they blessed and glorified and extolled, because the name of that Son of Man had been revealed unto them. And he sat on the throne of his glory, and the sum of judgment was given unto the Son of Man. And he caused the sinner to pass away and be destroyed from off the face of the earth. And those who have led the word astray, with chains shall they be bound. And in their assemblage place of destruction shall they be imprisoned. And all their works vanish from the face of the earth. And from henceforth there shall be nothing corruptible, for the Son of Man has appeared, and he has seated himself on the throne of his glory. And all evil shall pass away before his face. And the word of that Son of Man shall go forth and be strong before the Lord of spirits. This is the third parable of Enoch. Chapter 70. And it came to pass after this that his name during his lifetime was raised aloft to that Son of Man and to the Lord of spirits from among those who dwell on the earth. And he was raised aloft on the chariots of the spirit, and his name vanished among them. And from that day I was no longer numbered among them. And he sent me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels took the cords to measure for me the place for the elect and righteous. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous, whom from the beginning dwell in that place. Chapter 71. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens. And I saw the Holy Son of God there were stepping on flame of fire. Their garments were white, and their raiment and their faces shone like snow. And I saw two streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the angels, seized me by my right hand and lifted me up and led me forth into all the secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the end of the heavens, and all the chambers of all the stars and all the luminaires, when hence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. And he translated my spirit into the heavens of heavens. And I saw there, as it were, structure built of crystal, and between those crystals tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw griddle, which grit that house of fire, and on its four sides were streams full of living fire, and they grit that house. And round about were seraphim, cherubim, and Ophanim, and these are they who sleep not and guard the throne of his glory. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000, 1,000, and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. And they came forth from that house. And Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel and many holy angels without numbers. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my spirit was transfigured. And I cried with a loud voice with the spirit of power, and blessed and glorified and exalted. And these blessings which went forth out of my mouth were well pleasing before that head of days. And that head of days came with Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, thousands and 10,000s of angels without number. Law's passage wherein the Son of Man was described as accompanying the head of days. And Enoch asked one of the angels concerning the Son of Man as to who he was. And he, the angel, came to me and greeted me with his voice and said unto me, This is the Son of Man who is born unto righteousness, and righteousness abide over him. And the righteous of the head of days forsake him not. And he said unto me, He proclaims unto thee peace in the name of the world to come. For from hence has proceeded peace since the creation of the world, and so shall it be unto thee forever and ever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsake him. And with him will be their dwelling place, and with him their heritage, and they shall not be separated from him forever and ever and ever. And so there shall be length of days with that Son of Man, and the righteous shall have peace and upright way in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. And this concludes the fragment book of Enoch. On the next part 6, we are going to look into the book of the course of the heavenly luminaries. Until then, thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy this video. And take care, my friends. God bless your path into the truth. Always. Until next time, everyone.